Hey guys, how's it going? It's the year 2025, which means it's been 1700 years since the Council of Nicaea, there in 325. And when you read the Nicene Creed, you can see that it gives about this much attention to the Father, this much attention to the Son, and this little tiny bit to the Holy Spirit. Why is that? Well, it's because the understanding of the Holy Spirit had not developed to the point at 325 to where the early Christians thought that the Holy Spirit was a conscious third person. Now, that does get developed in 381 in Constantinople and in 451 in Chalcedon, but the early Christians and even the authors of the Old Testament did not have this understanding of the Spirit. The Spirit was a conscious person alongside the Father. Instead, what our Bible dictionaries and encyclopedias tell us is that the Holy Spirit is the operational presence and power of God working in the lives of God's people, but it's not a conscious person alongside the Father. And we can get some confirmation of this by looking at the various ways in which the biblical authors interact with or even hesitate to interact with the Holy Spirit in ways that they are quite comfortable interacting with, namely God the Father. For example, they're comfortable worshiping God the Father, but nobody ever in the Bible worships the Holy Spirit. Same thing with prayer language. People are praying to God. Even on rare occasion, they'll be praying to Jesus, but nobody prays to the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is never the object of sacrifice. When it comes to songs, hymns, and psalms, they can be dedicated to God, and even the songs and the hymns can be dedicated to Christ, but nobody is singing to the Holy Spirit. That's interesting. And when you look at the throne room visions in the Old Testament, the throne room visions will just have God the Father. That's because Jesus hasn't been born yet. In the New Testament, you have the exalted, resurrected Jesus sitting at God's right hand, according to Psalm 110:1, Yahweh saying to my Lord, sit at my right hand. But the Holy Spirit is never once present in these throne room visions. The Holy Spirit is never enthroned anywhere in the Bible. And the reason for this is the Spirit is not a conscious person alongside the Father. The Holy Spirit just is the Spirit of your Father, which is what Jesus taught in Matthew chapter 10, verse 20. He says, it's the Spirit of your Father. It's the Father's Spirit. It's the Father interacting with the world through his Holy Spirit. Now, I know what some people are going to say. They're going to say, but, Dustin, my translation describes the Holy Spirit as a he, and that sounds like it's a person. The problem is that this is a mistranslation of the Greek and the Hebrew, because in the Hebrew, the word for spirit is ruach, which is grammatically feminine, not masculine. And in Greek, it is pneuma, which is grammatically neuter, not masculine. So don't let these translations mistranslate the Holy Spirit into a masculine person. The Holy Spirit is a thing. It is the Spirit of God. It is not a conscious person alongside the Father. Don't forget to subscribe.